Yo, what's going on? It's your boy King J. Today we are talking about GEESE and a basic to pro guide. This is what kind of brought my channel quite to be successful, and I appreciate every single one of you that subscribed. If you ain't subscribed, keep rocking with us. We have Germany's finest GEESE player. I would like to say the best GEESE player in Europe, Madara. So, Madara, take it away and show us how to play GEESE.
Hello and welcome everyone to this GEESE guide here on YouTube. I'm gonna break down this character as good as possible in a short amount of time, and I think we'll go straight ahead into his strengths. So for his strengths, he has very strong punishment with its very big damage outcome. As you can see, very big damage with not the hardest amount of hits you have to do to get really good damage. So yeah, one big strength of GEESE is for sure that he has a lot of damage. His punishment, like in general, 10 frame, 12 frame, you have 14 frame launcher, you have a 15 frame standing 2. His while standing punishment is also starting from I10. This, for example, is I13 while standing 1, QCB 1. He has a good I15 while standing punisher. So he has, for everything, he has a good punish. So yeah, that's definitely one of his strengths. Another point that's really important with him is that he has strong 50-50s with his strong wall bounce, one of the best in the game in my opinion. Very good mixing it up with poking like Satsup 3. And just in general, his poking games is really good. He has a strong down forward 1, strong tools to just annoy your opponent, like down 2, down 3, down forward 3, even like back 4, down 4 if you want to go a bit bigger. And you just poke your opponent down, and then once they're with, you will launch with your strong ass punishment. Another point is that he has very good movement. That means you can really backdash and walk around really well with this character. He can walk things that other characters just can't, not even females. He's a bit cheap in that regard, and a lot of hate because of that. And yeah, consider that definitely when playing this character. Very strong movement with side walking and backdashing, and utilize his strong punishment options, and yeah, get the win with him. Weaknesses are, I would say, he doesn't have a normal hit launcher from standing. The fastest one comes out at 24 frames, which is forward 1+2. And before that, he only gets a mini combo like this. So he definitely needs a bar to convert into damage. Even this doesn't get to too much, 1+2. So yeah, definitely once you have meter, it becomes more scary. But if without meter, it's not too scary. Other weaknesses that he has big whiff recovery. Even moves like down forward 1, you can see on GEESE, it takes really long to block. Which means if your opponent can utilize movement really well, he will be able to punish you very well if you move with your moves. So always be careful with that, and yeah, don't whiff too much of him. Just like your opponent won't whiff against you in the best case. Another big weakness I would say is that he has nothing crazy scary on like long range. He has forward 4, which is pretty strong, but there are characters that can punish that as well, pretty consistent. And besides that, he has some repukens for keep out, but that's kind of like, when it comes to his range, you need to be very up close. Like most of his tools are whiffing if you are just like around like this range. So there's nothing that really can come at this point. A tip range forward 4 can come, and maybe some repukens, but that's kind of it. Which also leads to the point where moves like Heihachi's forward 4-2 is completely safe, because he doesn't have an I16 launcher. So yeah, that's one of his weaknesses, that he needs to be a bit up close to do stuff. And also characters who have strong while standing punishment have a good time against GEESE. He has a lot of moves that are launch punishable from launch, like from crouch I mean. Like down freeze -15. He has an extension, but for poking, this is launch also -14. So if your character has a 14 frame launcher, you can do that, or even 13. Starting with his key moves, I would start with standing 2 as the first one. Then into his I-15 launcher with meter. Without meter, as I said, you'll get a mini combo. And on hit, it leads to your EX Moonslicer into combos. And also and can lead into any of these extensions of these strings of his Rekas, I would say. Which has lows and mids involved. You can do it into Repukens, into Jakens. So basically this is like your go-to to launch your opponent with meter or with punish. Doesn't matter if it's from the front or from the back. This is the go-to move. One of the most important moves of this character. Next move is back 2. Back 2 is 24 frames. It's his war bounce. It's +2 on block. Which means you can use it to some degree as pressure with jabs on the wall. But also to maybe try to mix up another back 2. Maybe a little low poke. Just your go-to move on the wall, because the wall bounces and it's safe. Next up is while running 1. The third move I'm gonna cover. It's his while running move. It's just pretty good. Not too much risk. It's an elbow. That means you can't parry it. Anyways. It's -8 on block. Not too risky to just throw it out. Be careful though, if you drop the input like here, you can get forward 1 which is launch punishable. So definitely get your while running ones ready and sharp to get them instantly. Next up, I'm gonna cover down forward 1. His down forward 1 is -3 on block and +5 on hit. As you can see here. It tracks a bit to his right. And it's just a good move to annoy your opponent with. It has 2 extensions, which is down forward 1-1, which is +4 on hit. But you can duck the second one, obviously. Or you can also do down forward 1-4, which is natural on counter hit. If the down forward 1 lands on counter hit, the second one is guaranteed. You can delay the second one quite a bit. And also the second one from these launch on counter hit, like this. So it's a good way to poke. And also a good way to just fish for a counter hit. Kinda like Brian with his down forward 2 string. Very similar. Just a down forward 1. But be careful, of course, they nerfed it. The whiff recovery is a bit bigger now, so try to get it on hit or on block for sure. Next up is forward 4. More or less, it's the second hit of down forward 1-4 as a single move. This move itself is -13 on block, so be careful. Some characters can punish you for it. The way you can do it, like pretty good, is by doing it like on far range. So most characters won't get a punish because of the huge pushback on block. Just your go-to counter hit tool in the neutral, because a lot of characters can't even punish it at all, and it will give you a really good combo afterwards. So yeah, if you mix it up with sidestep 3, you can do that as well. Both 19 frames, so it's hard to read for sure. Next up is one of his top key moves as well, back 3-2. It's his 14 frame launcher with meter, so you can convert here into a combo. The first one is a knee, so you can't parry it. The first one is actually -12 on block, but it's not too bad because most people are scared to punish the first one, because if they try to punish it, they might get launched by the second one. So yeah, it's a mix-up in the end. And also back 3 tracks a bit to the right. Like tracks completely to the right. So against this you would need to go left. Very strong move. You can do it like this a bit. If you're really good, you can hit confirmant, but it's a lot of practice. And yeah, it's just your go-to I-14 launcher. If you don't have meter, by the way, you use 1+2 into this while running 1 or ground 4. Just a quick note. And yeah, I'll cover the next move, which is down 4. Down 4 is a huge hitting low. This move is launch punishable on block, so be careful with using it. You are -31 and a stagger low. Be careful, it is a counter launcher, so very strong. If people, for example, do highs, you will crush them. And also, yeah, very consistent on it with the high crushing. Very, very good. Also tracks to both sides really well. So if people are walking a lot, you can use this as well. Tracks both sides pretty good. And also cancelable into all of his strings, his Rekas or Repukens, whatever you like. Anything is up to you, whatever you want to do afterwards. Next low is down 2, which is this one. This one is very quick at 14 frames. It is -3 on block, but also high crush instantly, so very good for example in a Steve matchup or any other matchup basically. If you just want to go for a quick low poke. Be careful though, because it is -14, so there are characters that can launch you for it. Next up is sidestep 3. Sidestep 3 is his go-to poke from a sidestep. You will see this a lot of times because it's the only one that gives him good plus frames at +4. It got nerfed. It doesn't launch anymore on counter hit. It just gives this huge plus frames at 17. But there's not a lot you can do. Just a huge plus advantage. Also a good way to mix it up with his sidestep back 2. Like this back 2, but you can do it from sidestep. So it looks like you would go for the low. As well as forward 4. Both works really well as a sidestep mix-up. Last one I will cover is, in my opinion, forward 1+2 is still pretty good. It is 24 frames, but it's his go-to launcher from standing without meter. Because besides that, you don't have anything that launches from standing. So yeah. Forward 1+2 is on its own -9 on block. So it's perfectly safe. It's a bit slow, so there might be situations where you get floated from the air. But it crushes low as well, so every now and then you can do that. Be careful though, like characters that have good movement might walk it pretty easily. Wall combos? You have a few options at the wall. The normal one is jab, jab, down 4, forward 1 with Puken. You have 2 Whippuken options. You have this one, and you have double Whippuken. If you want to go for Oki, you do a single Whippuken because you recover earlier. So you can go for like a sidestep mix-up, for example. If you do double Whippuken, you get 2 more points of damage, but you lose the Oki. You just back to 0 basically. There's not a lot you can do afterwards. And if you want to go for full damage, you do 2 jabs and ground foe. This is the most damaging wall combo. Technically, if you are going to the wall, like for example like this, you can also do something like this. You miss out on 1 jab and do the Whippuken ender. That's 1 point more. Or you can also finish it with a ground foe for the max damage option. But of course, you are on the wall and not your opponent, so you should only do this when you can kill and win the round. So be careful about that. The last thing is quickly showing the bear wall combo, the most optimal I'd say, which would be something like this. You do down 4, forward 3, and then dig jab. Dig jab Whippuken. You can do that again with both options, normal and double Whippuken. The reason why you want to do this, if I do the normal wall combo, like here, you can see forward 1 will just switch sides, and he's on the ground, so you will get his guaranteed move when he's on the ground. So never do this forward 1. The forward 1, technically you could do it also like this. So besides the forward 1, this also works. If you are straighter to the walls, sometimes it can with actually. You can do this. This is like the most optimal one you can do against bears. That's it with this video. I hope I can help you a bit with GEESE. If you have any other questions, let me know. This is pretty straightforward, I'd say. And yeah, very quick. Thank you for watching and take care everyone.